Welcome to another edition of Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast, with your host, Brandon Morrell.
Hey y'all, this is Adam Sanders, and you're listening to a grand slam of music, sports, and entertainment. It's the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast with Brandon Morrell.
And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. Happy New Year to everybody out there. 2026, and of course, starting the new year with a bang here. KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network, and powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. Anytime, iHeartRadio podcasts, and of course out there, THWN.org, and of course out there too, just blasting off for the new year too as well. You saw this gentleman out there too. He's taken country music by storm, and he just did that too on the first season, the inaugural season of the CBS Paramount show called The Road. Nashville recording artist, singer-songwriter Adam Sanders to the program. What's up, my friend?
How are you, buddy? Good to see you again, man.
It's been a hot minute, too. Last time we saw you, network television. First of all, congratulations on the victory. I know that show was produced by Taylor Sheridan, of course, with the great Blake Shelton. And, man, just a cool time to see you on the road. Let's talk about the experience. And, you get into the finale, brother. You working the stage, playing your songs, and getting some rave reviews from some of the top artists in the industry. Tell us about it.
Man, first off, what a journey and what an amazing opportunity to be a part of, the first season of The Road. Man, I could just tell you, you followed my story, for a long time, and we've, had a chance to chat in the past. And man, I never in a million years thought that I would ever entertain being a part of a singing competition show. And I always kind of thought I would get my break through songwriting and just grinding it out on the road, playing shows, like literally what I've been doing for the past 10 years. But when this opportunity came my way, and I found out the parameters of the show and the fact that you could be out opening for a national touring artist, playing in front of real fans, playing your original music, full band, it just felt like a no-brainer for me. And so very, very grateful for the exposure, the opportunity. And, man, I feel like I've just worked my whole career to be ready for this moment. And, obviously it worked out in my favor to be the winner. But man, what an incredible journey. I've got nothing but great things to say about all the producers and, all the contestants that were involved, and just a very great experience.
Yeah, the cool thing was, too, man, so many great talents there. It was 12 just great artists, no doubt about it, singer-songwriters, too. And you look back at it, too, did they kind of tell you guys a little bit about, like, getting to the finale? Of course, I know it was more of those things. When you move forward like any competition, like you said, singing competition. But, I mean, man, dude, a cash prize, a slotted stagecoach, I mean, the Red Bull Jukebox show. All these things coming at you, these accolades for just getting into a competition. Tell us about just the prizes at the end and, of course, just going round by round, knowing this thing could go either way.
Yeah, the cool thing that I thought that The Road did was they found 12 artists that were very diverse in what they do. I've sort of said from the beginning, if you're a country music fan and you have a certain style of country music that you like, whether that be red dirt or more of a 90s country style or even Americana, there was an artist on this show that was going to fit your taste. And so I felt like they did a great job of getting just a lot of diversity in the artist. But yeah, man, I mean, week after week, just the pressure just, ramped up each show. We had to live and die by the fans that were at each show each night, and so if you had an off night, that could be, the ultimate killer for you. And so I was very strategic of songs when I played, when and where. And, I just felt like that was something that sort of gave me a little bit of an advantage. I remember specifically picking my last show first. So out of all the songs, that I had recorded or was thinking about doing as my cover, I chose those songs for the finale first, and which was kind of backwards thinking. But my thought process was, if I make it to the end, I've got to have a moment to win this thing. And, I wanted to come out of the gate strong. And then I kind of wanted to just make sure that I sort of stayed middle of the pack and, was just basically not getting sent home, and then save my best stuff for the end.
I'm going to ask you about the one episode I did see, looking back at it, several episodes, the one that just really stuck out to me. I know Jordan Davis was a guest judge on that too, and that the original that you had, that you guys released back there on September 19th of last year, Get It If You Did It, which is a great country song, no doubt. And I love it, his comment, sounding like a hit. And, I might want to cut that song. When you got that reaction from the great Jordan Davis, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
Oh, well, man, he's such a great singer songwriter himself, and for him to say something like that, it just was very validating for me. I've been very blessed and fortunate to have written some, hit songs for other artists, along the way. And that's been a big part of my journey to get my start in Nashville. And so now being a guy that's sort of being a double threat of still writing songs for other artists, but also keeping songs for myself, it's always great when another artist you respect, recognizes your talents and your songs. And, for him to say that he thought that was a hit song was just very, very, gratifying.
Yeah, one of those top episodes I love watching. Well, time for a little music here on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Kicking off your morning here, too, drinking some coffee. It's Adam Sanders, the winner of the inaugural road show on the CBS and Paramount, Cat in a Hat. It was a good Dr. Seuss book. Now it's a great country song here on the Backstage Pass. Adam Sanders, more to come here, too. Again, the Sports Guys Podcast.com and THWN.org, and also iHeartRadio Podcast. Stay tuned.
Keep your long black Cadillac, I don't need no line of cars. What my headstone says when I'm graveyard dead, hell, I really ain't thought that far. But on the day I meet my maker, and I'm Gold Street glory bound, just do me one solid before you throw me in the ground. Bury this cat in a hat, lay me down in my roots, shine a gold on a buckle, lead a ring round the knuckle, was a polish on these old boots. Yeah, send me on up to heaven, riding on a country song. Y'all bury this cat in a hat when the good Lord calls me home. Put the soul boy in a pine box, starts these denim blues. Tell my pretty little honey to save a little money, don't worry about a brand new suit, no. When my sand runs out and you pick my crown, begging for the ex-midnight black. Even if you gotta cut the brown plum off the back, bury this cat in a hat, lay me down in my roots, shine a gold on a buckle, lead a ring round the knuckle, was a polish on these old boots. Yeah, send me on up to heaven, riding on a country song. Y'all bury this cat in a hat when the good Lord calls me home. Oh, take me home, boys. Oh, come on in here, fiddle. I don't need no fancy flowers, don't want y'all to shed a tear. But if you really want me to rest in peace when I head up out of here, y'all bury this cat in a hat, I'll lay me down in my roots, shine the gold on the buckle, leave the ring round the knuckle, put some polish on these old boots. Yeah, send me on up to heaven, riding on a country song. Y'all bury this cat in a hat when the good Lord calls me home. I said y'all bury this cat in a hat when the good Lord calls me home. Y'all take me home. Yeah, send me on a country song. Just bury this cat in a hat. Woo.
Hey guys and girls, this is Australian country artist Hayley Jensen, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Stream the show anytime on iHeartRadio podcasts and on THWN.org.
Is your home or business in need of a fresh look? Right Flow Pressure Washing and Lawn LLC is more than just pressure washing, providing professional cleaning for homes, commercial buildings, parking lots, roof cleaning, gutter cleaning, and so much more, including lawn service and landscaping. Our mission here at Right Flow is to exceed the needs of all our customers while providing all of our services at an affordable rate. We're committed to going above and beyond where the job is done right. Give your property the care it deserves. Call Right Flow today at 409-363-2565 or go to rightflowwashandlawn.com.
Hey y'all, this is country recording artist Jay Webb, and you're listening to the best in music and sports with Brandon Morrell on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network. Stream the show anytime on iHeartRadio podcast and at thesportsguyspodcast.com. You can also listen at thwn.org.
And back here on the show again, Adam Sanders joining us here, the Backstage Pass again, KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network. I love when you guys had put this out as a single. Little joke there. I'm just messing around. The whole Dr. Seuss thing. It's just a great song, and you really took me back, Adam, with this one when it came out in 2025 there last August, Cat in a Hat. And you brought 90s country, which I know you believe in so much and grew up on. Talk about this one, the writing. Lyrically, man, it touched a lot of people. It really did.
Well, thank you. You know, it's funny you bring up about the Dr. Seuss side of it, because honestly, when I heard this hook for the very first time, that's the exact reaction that I've got. So my co-writer of this song is a guy named Jordan Walker, and Jordan's been a part of some big hits along the way, and he had this title, and I thought that he had lost his mind when he said, I want to write a song called Cat in a Hat. I was like, I literally was thinking, are we writing a Dr. Seuss book or what? And so but when he explained to me the hook of the song, I immediately got it. And for me, I am a guy that I started singing when I was 2 or 3 years old, and I always performed as a kid with a cowboy hat. And I moved to Nashville wearing a cowboy hat, but somewhere along the way, I kind of got rid of it and just kind of put the ball cap on. And back in 2024, the end of 2024, I wanted to try to find a way to take the roots of 90s country, which has always been the roots of my music, but I wanted to find a way to make it the branches of my actual artistry. And so I was searching and finding ways to reintegrate that sound into my sound even more than what I had in the past. And I made the decision that I wanted to put the cowboy hat back on. And so it just felt like the perfect introductory to me wearing a hat again to the fans that may not have known me as a hat act. And then for new fans to discover me as an artist, along the road, for them to see me wearing a cowboy hat. And so I just felt like it was the perfect song to kind of come out of the gate with this new style of music.
As fast as you've been flown up there too, mentioned just as a great performer, man, just a great songwriter too at the same time. And, you've written a number of hits out there for the great Luke Bryan and Dierks Bentley and Blake Shelton and Drew Baldridge. And, Hell of a Night was a great song for Dustin Lynch. Of course, You Ain't Worth the Whiskey. What have you learned just over the years, Adam, just going through the industry, knowing it's the music business, but also taking some of those strengths and learning from some of the best songwriters for yourself to kind of gain those skills to become an even better songwriter and kind of a dual threat in the business?
Yeah, I've always tried to take the approach of writing the best song that you can write that particular day. It's easy as a songwriter to try to go into a room thinking of an artist in mind and trying to get inside their head of what you think they would want to sing or record. And I feel like sometimes that's worked for me, but more times than not, I have found my success through just trying to write the best song I can write that day and let the songs find their home, whether that's for you or for someone else. And so I think these days, it's more about quality versus quantity. I was kind of always a guy when I first moved to Nashville, man, I was writing about 100 songs a year, and we're still writing a lot, but not as much as I was back in those days when I was just trying to grind and just kind of learn my craft. And so, man, I think today is just, it's such a tricky thing because there's probably 5 or 6 really consistent subjects that country music songs are about, whether it's falling in love, falling out of love, partying, so it's trying to find new ways to say the same things over and over. And so I think you just look for those special hooks, those special titles and special angles on things that really kind of make the difference of a hit song or a not a hit song.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. Like I said, one song can definitely change a career. I wanted to ask you about set to have this full-length project here for 2026. Talk about this as much as you can tell us. I know you're excited about this full-length project.
Yeah, so before we went out on the road to film The Road, I went back in the studio and recorded 7 songs, and 3 of those songs we released right before the airing of The Road. So I'm setting on about 4 other songs. We're getting ready to go back in the studio and record some more, and I don't really have a timeline yet of when a full-length album project will be out, but we're definitely working on it, and something I'm really looking forward to.
I'll tell you what, time to play the latest single. Adam Sanders here, KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, and again, powered by the Sports Guys, the podcast.com, iHeartRadio podcast, and our friends at thwn.org, near 1 million listeners per month, and of course, create more right here. Bible in a House Fire. It's Adam Sanders here on the show. Stay tuned. More to come.
You kept that King James on your nightstand, but I never saw or heard you pray. Never was a Sunday morning kind of man, but somehow, girl, you kept the faith when my demons poured the gas and struck the matches and tried like hell to burn his love to ashes. You held on, held it strong when the heat started rising. Walked right through the smoke, kept right on fighting. You didn't let my rebel wild side burn us to the ground. You stayed unfazed when the flames got high, like a Bible in a house fire. A Bible in a house fire. Like you covered me in holy water and finally got me down here on my knees, sending up some thank yous to the Father, 'cause ever since you got a hold of me, you held on, held it strong when the heat started rising. Walked right through the smoke, kept right on fighting. You didn't let my rebel wild side burn us to the ground. You stayed unfazed when the flames got high, like a Bible in a house fire. A Bible in a house fire. My demons poured the gas and struck the matches, tried like hell to burn his love to ashes. You held on, heaven strong when the heat started rising. Walked right through the smoke, kept right on fighting. You didn't let my rebel wild side burn us to the ground. You stayed unfazed when the flames got high, like a Bible in a house fire. Bible in a house fire. You're my Bible in a house fire. Bible in a house fire.
Hey y'all, this is Billy Joe Jones, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, and anytime at the sportsguyspodcast.com. Listen on iHeartRadio Podcast at thwn.org.
Are you looking to increase your online presence? Are you searching for a new logo or company branding? Have you been considering more ways to reach the world with your business, ministry, or church's message? Barkley Music and Media is an award-winning design company that utilizes the latest technology while keeping the integrity of over 30 years of customer service. Web design, graphic design, multimedia, video editing, voiceover, commercials, logo design and branding, photography, and much, much more. See portfolios and testimonials online at www.barkleymusicandmedia.com or contact them today at 502-382-8299. Barkley Music and Media, your connection for the best in multimedia. Call today, 502-382-8299, or go to www.barkleymusicandmedia.com. Barkley Music and Media, integrity, technology, and design. www.barclaymusicandmedia.com.
Hey, everybody, this is Jarrett Ray Reddick, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Stream on the sportsguyspodcast.com and on thwn.org and on iHeartRadio podcasts.
And back here on the show again, Adam Sanders joining us here, KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, and out there, iHeartRadio podcast, and powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. Man, another fantastic song. Again, it's from your catalog. I love it so much because, again, throwback to 90s country. What more can I say there, too? Just being like a repetitive guy, just put on repeat thing. It's just great music out there, too. But this one had a great feel to it because you take a little bit of faith, you put it into country music, and, man, just what a hell of a song.
Well, thank you. I actually got the idea of this song from riding in a rental car to the St. Louis airport. And I'll never forget, I was just driving along and I happened to look over to my right and I saw a double-wide trailer that had been in a house fire in the middle of this field. And I was a kid that grew up in a double-wide my entire life in North Central Florida. And for whatever reason, that image just really hit me hard. And I saw in the yard, I saw some toys, I saw a swing set, and my mind immediately kind of went to, were there kids involved, and, were they there, or, just kind of feeling for the family. And then my focus shifted to, a lot of times on social media or the news, we see photos of a Bible that has been in a fire. And a lot of times it's the only thing untouched. Everything else around it is burnt. But the Bible has sort of held strong. And so I kind of married those two thoughts together and came up with the title, Bible on a House Fire. I went in with Jordan Walker and Bryce Long and wrote the song. And, man, just, that's a title that, I like we talked earlier, I was such a fan and still am today of 90s country. And I feel like 90s country was always great of taking titles and hooks and sort of moving them in a way that you didn't expect. And man, I just really love this song. And I think that there is a lot of people that can relate to this, of having someone in their lives that sort of held on through the fire when things might have not been great, but, kept everything together.
I love this too. The ladies are doing a lot of great things in country music right now too. You see just how Ella Langley is just on fire with what she just did at the CMAs, and of course, just right behind her, Priscilla Block, who's got her own tour going on right now too. And of course, the names just go right down the list, not just the Queen Bee, Lainey Wilson. I want to get your opinion on just the ladies right now too, and really carrying their weight, getting some due diligence now in country music.
Man, they're crushing it. It feels so good to see a new wave of women in country music, get their shot and be relevant. Back in the 90s, man, you had so many, reputable female artists, from Reba to Martina McBride, to Trisha Yearwood. I mean, you could just go on and on and on of names. And so, it feels good to have some ladies back in the mix and getting their shot. We kind of went through a period there where it seemed like it was a little tough for them. But, I feel like good music is always going to rise to the top, regardless of if you're a male, female, where you're from, your demographic, anything. I think good music is good music, and I think the fans just want to hear good music.
The great, we're back to the road a little bit. Gretchen Wilson was on there doing some really the judging and things like that too. And I remember she said these words, and I'm going to quote her right now. Adam has a lot of confidence as far as stage presence, vocal ability, his songwriting ability. He's got it down. And Gretchen says that, unquote, there. When you hear those words, and you mentioned you've toured with some of the biggest artists out there and written some of the biggest songs, but hearing those words from one of those female country artists who really defined late 90s to early 2000s, tell me about that.
Yeah, Gretchen was such a huge piece of the puzzle for the road. She was our tour manager. We like to call her our momager. She was so willing to help us and give us any advice that she could give us out on the road. And so for her to just sort of see all of the time that I have spent over the years writing and recording and singing and performing, for her to see that was very special. And, when it comes from her that it's true and authentic. She's one of the truest people that I've ever met, as far as, she gives it to you straight. She's not about a lot of fluff, but she's also very nurturing, and she knows how to get her point across in a good way for you to take it and run with it.
Now, I know one of the last times we had talked, man, when some music came out too, but I got to get into hobbies. Are you still into fitness?
I am. I haven't been able to be in it as much as I'd like in the last few months. We've had so much go on, and of course the holidays and traveling and things. But yeah, I'm definitely still in the gym. It's been a very therapeutic thing for me. I kind of say, man, if I'm if I'm not writing, recording, I'm probably getting a workout in, or I'm in the outdoors doing something. So that's kind of my main two hobbies these days, and really the only things I have time for these days outside of music is the outdoors and in fitness.
Hey, take us back to the last album there, 2024, right in the middle of it, which is another great song there too. And how'd you do it, which is one of my favorites there, and she don't even know it yet. Another great song there too. What'd you learn best about this album too? I thought just another great body of work of your collection of songs there too. Kind of hit on some highlights for me.
Yeah, that album for me was an album that really kind of helped shape where we were going. That album was an album that helped me really experiment with some sounds and some different things. And again, I think if you listen to certain songs on that project, they stand out a little bit more. That has a little bit more flair of a '90s country style song. And I think that project really kind of helped me hone in on what's to come in the future with this new wave of music. And is an album that really was influential to me and just kind of helped me continue to just sharpen the knife and get it closer to what I've always wanted it to sound like.
All right, I got to throw a little sports questions at you here too. I know the schedule's been busy, so not a chance to maybe keep up with a lot of things, but man, the NFL playoffs are as wide open as I've seen in years, and we're talking about the top quarterbacks like Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and guys like that are not in it. Is this the year that the Bills can finally get over the hump, and is this the year for Josh Allen?
Man, I really hope so. I'm a big Josh Allen fan. I don't necessarily have an NFL team that I pull for per se. I'm more of a college guy when it comes to teams, but in the NFL, I identify with players a lot, and Josh Allen's a guy that, man, is just an incredible football player, a guy that's got his head on, right, and a guy that I think is really deserving of the next step. And so I'm really pulling for them. But you're right, man. There's a lot of teams this year that could take the crown. I mean, there's some surprises in there. Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, look at what they've done. It'll be interesting to see. Are they for real? When they've got to go, possibly up to Denver and play the Broncos. It's going to kind of get their feet to the fire there. So I think there's a few teams that could do it, but I'm pulling for the Bills this year for sure.
I tell you, college football, they're down to the Final Four. Is this Indiana's year? Or are we going to see a good? I'm picking the Miami Hurricanes because of the secondary too, and of course the quality win over Ohio State. So looking back at it too, it's Mario Cristobal and of course Cignetti, the head coach at Indiana. This should be a great Final Four, and of course a national championship game coming up January 19th.
Yeah, man. I'm a big Florida Gator fan, so I probably would have to revoke my Florida Gator card if I was to pull for the Miami Hurricanes. But they look pretty stout this year, man. And yeah, they've got all the puzzle pieces to go all the way to the end. Indiana, is a team that is kind of like Jacksonville Jaguars. It's like, man, are they for real? Have they played the competition that some of these SEC teams have played, or different conferences. But I feel like, man, they look as good as anyone. I think it's wide open. I'm really, really looking forward to this next round of the playoffs of the college.
This will be a lot of fun too. All right, kind of a funny one here. When you guys were filming The Road, and of course after the fact, when it's over, whether filming an episode, you get a chance to kind of go out with the band or go out with some of the crew members. Show, what was the best place to maybe grab some food, some drinks? What did you guys like?
Well, we started out in Fort Worth, and I had never been down to the Corral and that whole area there. And man, that was a really cool place to be in the stockyards. I thought that was really cool. We got to go out and just kind of walk the streets and just see all the history that was there. So I'd say the stockyards was my favorite.
Too, man. Well, I tell you what, it's a great song, great music out there too as well. Bible in a House Fire, the current single, and of course he's got a lot of things going on as he builds off the hit show The Road. Of course, hey, congratulations, man, on all the success. A terrific songwriter, even better guy, and a great Nashville recording artist. AdamSandersMusic.com. Brother, we appreciate you being with us here on KYBN, and as always, a continued success going forward, and looking forward to many more great milestones.
Brandon, thank you so much for your time, man. Love to be back with you anytime.
Got it, man. The one, the only Adam Sanders, AdamSandersMusic.com. And, of course, out there, more great shows. We're just beginning. Happy New Year, 2026. The Sports Guys Podcast.com. And, of course, KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, and THWN.org. And also the iHeartRadio podcast, now a #1 podcast on iHeartRadio. We'll talk to you soon. God bless. Take care.
Hey, y'all. This is Ashlyn Kraft, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. You can also listen on iHeartRadio podcasts and at the sportsguyspodcast.com.